Hello, everyone. My name is Carolyn Mathis, and I'm going to talk to you today about how to be a superachiever by focusing on three important areas. We grow up with the hope that we'll achieve whatever we want in life. It's probably the first statement that you've heard from your parents. I hope you achieve your life's desire. So we long for that, and eventually, somewhere down the road, we learn what that means to each of us. Over the course of our time here today, you will learn how to achieve more of what you want in your life, whether it's personally or professionally. The keys to super achieving are learning information from three important areas: mindset, resilience, self care, and development. But first, let's look at mindset. Your mindset is the first step in realizing your dreams and achieving more in life. Your mindset can either help you or it can hurt you. Although all steps are important here, your mindset will help you become more aware of what's holding you back. Every one of us has those little voices in our heads, so we're not alone. However, super achievers are aware they exist and know how to control them and their associated emotions. A little study that was done said that there was only 5 to 10% of our behaviors come from our conscious minds, and the remaining 90 to 95% come from our subconscious minds. Most of us have heard of emotional intelligence, but maybe not positive intelligence, or PQ is what it's called by Shirzad Shamim. PQ is the percentage of time your mind serves you as opposed to sabotages you. Your positive intelligence indicates how much mastery you have over your mind. So focusing on positive intelligence can help you change those behaviors around. Behaviors that we've learned become naturally ingrained after a period of time, and we have to work hard to change those behaviors if we want to. Our minds are like data banks, and that they search for answers when we're faced with situations, or better known as our intuition. It's okay to use our intuition sometimes when faced with situations. The problem happens when we don't consider the effects the previous information has on us today. We don't search for updated information from our data banks, inside or outside of our data banks. For example, when I was younger, I saw my mother always putting others first. She put her children first. She put my father first. She put her job first. She never took time for herself. She put her needs aside, which was endearing. Um, but by watching that, I learned how not to say no, and would often take a lot more on than I could, until I realized that it's not helping me at all. I learned how to be aware of the pleaser saboteur and learn how to shake that negative voice inside my head that says, if you don't do this, you're not a good person. So I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things to get rid of that negative voice in your head. Write down the top three saboteurs showing up in your life now, whether it is the pleaser saboteur or it is the judging saboteur, and then create an action plan for limiting those voices and calming them down in your minds. The narrative identity theory states that we integrate our life experiences into a story about ourselves, which continues to evolve as we get older, and it becomes our identity. So basically, your story becomes your reality. You have the ability to create your own story and therefore create your own reality. Change yourself by changing your perspective. Do a couple of things to do this. Choose a story that's keeping you from achieving your goals. For example, I can't get a degree because I don't have money, or I can't switch career fields, it's too hard. What benefits are you getting out of that current story? Figure that out, if any benefits at all. And then, what new story can you create that will help you achieve your goals? For example, well, maybe I can get a scholarship to go to school, or maybe I can take one class that's in a different field that I want to be in, and that will help me achieve or get closer to my goals. The second area of focus that we're going to talk about, as I mentioned, is resilience. Resilience is the ability to quickly recover from difficulties in your life. It's also how you view hardships and challenges in your life. You can view difficulties as something that makes you stronger or something that only happens to you and no one else. Superachievers learn how to push through life's difficult challenges and learn how to not only survive but to thrive. Superachievers see adversity as a way of facing challenging situations to help them grow. Making it through tough situations makes individuals improve self-confidence. Adversity can sometimes be a blessing in disguise. It can be used as a learning experience or opportunities for growth. It's all in the way that you look at it. I always say it isn't what's happening to me, it's what's happening for me, as a way to try to shut those negative voices in my mind. It may be difficult in the times that you're going through these challenges, no doubt. But it may just be what you need in order to change your situation, to turn it down a different path in a positive direction. So this is what I need for you to do. Identify 3 times in your life when you were faced with adversity. Each time, ask, what happened? Describe how you are a better person or in a better place in your life because you faced those adversities. And what was the gift it gave you? That's important. Superachievers are emotionally intelligent. Yes, everyone has emotions and we're all human and we express our emotions in different ways. But learning that emotions are simply messages bringing attention to what we need to know is important to understanding what reactions you're attaching to the emotions. As we learned in the mindset discussion, the brain does a quick search to pull up previous responses from our data bank and we react. By seeing our emotions as data, we're able to become an observer of our reactions. It gives us an opportunity to examine them and understand what emotions it brings up. Do a few things. Identify 3 strong emotions that you felt in the past week, whether they were positive or seen as negative. What happened? How did your thoughts create that emotion? And ask yourself, how can you use this information to inform your response the next time you feel this emotion? It'll help you with that. And the final area that we need to focus on is self-care and self-development. Self-care and self-development are important to achieve your goals. You can't possibly bring the world all you're intended without taking care of yourself first. In fact, the first rule of safety when you're traveling on an airplane is making sure that you're putting on your oxygen mask first. And that's solely to make for you to be able to help someone else. It seems counterintuitive not to jump and help someone else, but it's one of the most important activities super users always find time to do. So how do you nurture your mind, body, and soul? Nurturing your mind is continuously learning and growing in wisdom. For your mind, ask yourself, is what you're learning growing you as a human being and helping you reach your full potential? If it isn't leading you down that path, raise your expectations and change your course. For your body, the first thing that we tend to do when we get busy is stop eating right, stop sleeping, and stop exercising. When your body and your mind can't focus because it isn't getting what it needs to thrive, achieving goals are impossible. Many times I have neglected nurturing my body and foregoing what I know is important for endurance and sustainability. Not anymore. Superachievers learn how to take advice, employ active listening skills, and use their own development, mental and spiritual. For your body, start appreciating everything your body does by listing statements of gratuity. Then focus on how you can take better care of it. Do a couple of things. What interventions have you created or will you create to ensure that you maintain this very important habit? What stories do you tell yourself about your schedule and your self-care? Is it a priority to you? For your soul, practice the enlightenment technique. Let me talk about the enlightenment technique. It's very special. Pretend that everyone around you is more enlightened and you're not. What are the people around you teaching you? Recall the last person, situation, or circumstance that frustrated you. What was the lesson? How can you remind yourself to lose the negative voices and find the learning in every situation? What does this all mean? Well, it means that superachieving lives in all of us. Focusing on your mindset, resilience, self-care, and development will help you become the best you can be. Go out in the world, show them how you show up. Oh, one last activity. Stand up. I need everybody to stand up. Close your eyes and then open your eyes again. Turn around and put your hand over your heart. So hopefully you've learned from this that you will walk away saying your eyes have been opened, your world has been turned around, and your heart has been touched. Thanks so much for listening. Super Achiever.